Hi everybody, welcome to the Spectator Sportscast. Ella Schultz here with Nick Scott and Brian Barber. Brian went to great lengths to be with us today, came back from South Carolina. Was looking a little bit tired, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, last week's show I was looking a little bit out of shape according to some, so I've been working hard all week in the gym, so hopefully I'm a little bit slimmer now and a little less orange. But
right.
Nice to have Brian here
It's
today.
always great to have Brian with us. Good weekend pretty much in a lot of sports for Columbia. Football picked up a 34-17 win over Cornell to reclaim the Empire State Bowl. Football really dominated the second half there. Good showing for them going into the last game of the season. Really good to finish out the year strong.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Coach Mangurian focused on at the beginning of the season was the ability to close games.
Mm-hmm.
They managed to come back from a deficit at half time, and
Right.
they did exactly that. They came back and managed to hold on for the win, and it ended up actually being quite comfortable. So good performance for them.
Definitely great to see that from the football team. Brian actually did very well yesterday as well. Men's basketball picked up a 68-47 win over Furman in South Carolina. Great stuff from men's basketball there. Last season, of course, the Furman game was quite a bit of a disappointment for the Lions. Dropped a second half lead and lost Norua Ago for the season. So good to see a win from them this year.
Good performance from Brian as well, leading the team with 19 points. I think a big game as well from Alex Rosenberg with 14 points. And I think it was good to see Stephen Frankowski back out there after being missing last season.
He put up like 16 or something like that.
Yeah, I think he was like 4 for 10 from the 3-point line. So he's a really good shooter, and it'll be helpful for them, I think, this season.
Definitely good to have Frankowski back on the hard court for the Lions. Volleyball also picked up a pair of solid victories to put them at second in the Ivies to close out the year. That's their best finish in program history, and of course Megan Gaughan had a good weekend too, right, Nick?
Yeah, Megan, our friend from the show, she I think it was 24 kills, which actually broke the all-time kill record. So that's a nice sort of individual recognition for her. They picked up a 3-1 win against Penn, and then followed it with a 3-1 win against Princeton. So a good weekend for them, I think.
Yeah, and of course, props to the women's volleyball team for finishing so high. Definitely their program seems to be headed in the right direction here.
Yeah.
Women's basketball unfortunately suffered a pair of losses to LIU 53-42 and then fell to Vermont 46-40.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely some positives to take away, especially from the close Vermont
disappointing start, but hopefully they can get back at it, regroup, and come out with a win in the following game.
And men's soccer?
Yeah, men's soccer, we had our final game of the season against Cornell. We actually lost 1-0, which meant Cornell were Ivy League champions. It was our senior day, so my last game as a Columbia athlete, which was a little bit sad.
It's all right.
But I think the program is heading in the right direction. The freshmen had good seasons, and I'm sure there's new blood coming in. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how the team's going, and hopefully manage to pick up Ivy League win next year.
And of course that Cornell team is definitely a strong side.
I think they're ranked 14th in the country. They had a striker, Daniel Haber, who is one of the top goal scorers in the country as well. And to be honest, I think we matched them. It was just they're kind of like a real opportunistic team. I think that showed from the goal. It came kind of out of nothing, and the lad Haber, he managed to get on it, and he's a great finisher and put it in our net. But yeah, good luck to them in the nationals, in the NCAA tournament. Hopefully they'll be able to represent the Ivy League well.
Moving to men's swimming. Men's swimming had their first couple dual meets of the season, picked up a win over Penn, then fell to Yale. So a little mixed bag of a start there, but definitely I'm sure they're glad to be back in the pool and getting things going again.
Yeah, I'm sure. Women's swimming, they unfortunately lost against Yale. Disappointing start, but I think it was a good individual performance from Katie Miley. I think won 3 individual races. So it's a good start for her. I think she's going to have a big year, and hopefully the team can pick it up and get back at it.
And on the cross-country field, definitely a huge performance for the men at NCAA Northeast Regionals. The men took second, actually, to clinch a spot at Nationals, which was a big step for them, especially coming off a somewhat disappointing finish at HEPS. So hats off to them for that.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I think the coach said it was a fantastic performance out there. Some great individual efforts, and I think they really deserve it. And good luck to them as they go forward.
And the women finished 9th in the Northeast Regionals. That was not quite good enough to secure them a spot at Nationals. They do have a slim chance at securing an at-large bid, but they've had to deal with quite a few injuries, especially a big one to Waverly Neer, a sophomore who's a great runner for them. So definitely something to build on there.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a good week overall for the sports teams. A lot more wins this week, which is nice.
Right, and I'd like to personally take a moment to say happy 2 years to my girlfriend. I love you. Thanks for all the great memories.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Nick. Anyway, back to business. Big stuff coming up next weekend. Basketball team will be back in action. Also, actually, this week, men's basketball is their first home game on Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah.
So come out and support our friend Brian here. I'm sure he'll be happy to see you.
Hopefully he'll be a little bit more mobile on the court than he is today. But
yeah, one can only hope. And then football will close out the year at Brown next weekend. So we'll be talking about that next weekend as well. So, and as usual, feel free to leave any comments, send emails. You guys know the drill already. So we'll see you next week.